Hello, and welcome to James the Lesser Express Lane, where we get you out as fast as possible. Talking to you about Thunderbird, Bigfoot, and the skull over there also Bigfoot. Now, you're going by the title saying, what do you mean that Bigfoot and the Thunderbird is real? You have proof. Here's the thing. We call it Bigfoot. The Native Americans called them Thunderbirds. But it turns out they're real. They weren't. Scientists don't call them that, though. What you see behind me is not a Bigfoot. It's Gigantopithecus. But Gigantopithecus was a pure bamboo eater. Ate nothing but bamboo. It's what ended up killing it. Most likely, the environment changed. Humans came in, pushed it out of its area, and it's like, oh, I can't live there anymore where the bamboo is. I have to live here because of the humans. But I can't eat the plants around me. So it died. The skull you see over there is a Dryopithecus, however you pronounce it. It's a very large ape. Now, the difference between that ape and Gigantopithecus is that ape is like us. As long as it's not no lead, mercury, or cyanide, it can eat it. Like us. Go, it didn't kill me. I can eat it. This ape went extinct. But you know what else went extinct? Oh, I have a list. I'll have it in the description box below. But let's see. The bush dog, the Trichoan peccari, coelacanth, one of the most famous ones, went extinct 66 million years ago. Oh, it turns out it's alive and well. Laotian rock rat, the Majorcan midwife toad, Dawn redwood, Bulmer's fruit bat. Let's see, the Lord Howe Island stick insect, also known as a tree lobster, I think. Dinosaur ant, bone skipper fly, the black kokanee type of fish, armored frog, painted frog, American cinchona plantation tree frog, black jumping salamander, Bavarian pine vole, Brazilian arboreal mouse, Caspian horse, the Cuban solondon, dingbat bushy-tailed cloudy rat. Like, again, I'll have the list in the description box below, but just so many animals that went extinct. Some of them thousands of years, some of them hundreds of years, some of them millions of years. Millions of years they were extinct. Just to be, oh, no, they're right there. Now, for more famous and closer to Gigantopithecus and Dryopithecus, the woolly mammoth. The woolly mammoth went extinct 10,000 years ago with all the other large fauna when the comet hit Greenland and vaporized all that ice and changed the environment. Oh, wait. No. Last woolly mammoth went extinct between 3,600 and 4,000 years ago. It was a very small population, but it survived on an island until the glaciers receded far enough that, oh, hey, all the water around us is salt water because it's an ocean. We're stuck in an island with no fresh water because the glaciers went back so far. Well, no water. But yeah, think about it. There were mammoths around that could have seen if they're in the area, could have seen the pyramids, could have seen the Great Wall of China. Like, they didn't die until 3,600 to 4,000 years ago. But that's what we know now. Before that, we knew that they all died 10,000 years ago. On this year, on this day, at this time. Not a single one survived a single second after that. I will sacrifice my firstborn child if you can prove that a single mammoth survived after that very second, right there on that date. Oh, hey, oops. 3,600 years ago, they were still alive. But again, there could have been another small island here, maybe a small encampment there. That, who knows, maybe they survived until 2,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago. We don't know because we haven't found proof of it yet. It's amazing how, hey, we found proof of this. That is absolute. It will never change. Well, what happens when you find proof that that is wrong? That, oh, hey, coelacanth didn't go extinct 66 million years ago. Oh, the woolly mammoth didn't go extinct 10,000 years ago. People like when you discuss Bigfoot and Thunderbirds and other cryptozoology, of course they immediately go, that's not real. But they are. They just obviously weren't called Bigfoot. They weren't called Thunderbird. Now, if I'm wondering, 8-meter span? That's gotta be fake. There's no way there's a bird with that big of a wingspan. That's a small. That is small for some of the Pteratornithidae. I'm butchering the name. But part of the Pteratornis family of birds were huge. And you know where the majority of the fossils that we found of them? The La Brea tar pits. That means they existed at the same time as man. Now, did they go extinct at the same time as the Woolly Mammoths did 10,000 years ago? Oh, wait, no, 3,600 years ago? Maybe small populations here and there in the Rocky Mountains or in the Andes Mountains. Maybe some of them survived. Maybe some of them survived to be 3,600 years ago, 2,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago. Native Americans, before the white man showed up, talked about Thunderbirds, talked about the ape man. They talked about these creatures as if they'd seen them. Again, like, some descriptions were given. It's like, oh, that sounds a lot like a lowland gorilla, but no, 9 feet tall. Here's the thing, though. The lowland gorilla wasn't known by white man until what, the late 1800s, early 1900s? So how were Native Americans in 1702 describing something that looks like a gorilla before the white people knew about them existing, let alone Native Americans a whole continent away? It just boggles the mind that we know for a fact. Oh, wait, no, it turns out that's wrong. But no, it's gotta be fake. Those birds are real. Another giant from Europe area. Haast eagle, I think it's called. Haast, however you want to pronounce it. Eagle. Also, giant-ass bird. Also, fucking real. Thunderbirds aren't real. That's a myth. That's cryptozoology. That means it's fake. Here's this fossil. Here's that fossil. Here's the drawings from the people who saw them when they were around 10,000 years ago. Well, that's what I thought. It just amazes me that people are so certain that, nope, Gigantopithecus, Diropithecus, the Pteratornis, they died on this date, at this day, at this time. Not a single one survived a single second after that. I will sacrifice my firstborn child if you can prove that even one member of the family survived after that. It's like, oh, it turns out this one lived 3 minutes after that. No, I must sacrifice my firstborn now. Now, I'm not saying that Gigantopithecus or Diropithecus are running around the Pacific Northwest right now. What I am saying is, they may have survived, or an offshoot of their branch, more likely, may have survived. The Bering Land Bridge created all new species. One of the largest bears ever, the short-faced bear, was a spectacled bear. Went across Bering Land Bridge. Have all these resources and no competition. Became one of the largest land mammals ever. The mastodon, everyone knows that. Started off as was a member of the tapir family. So it's like a large pig. And then it came to America across the Bering Land Bridge. And it got huge. Hyenas, we know them. They're like the size of dogs. You see them in the Batman the Animated Series usually. Or there's an episode of Buffy. You can see hyenas. If you don't go to zoo or whatever. They're the size of a dog. They went across the Bering Land Bridge. And now they're 1,000 fucking pounds. Of course, Gigantopithecus was already huge, so it didn't need that advantage. But Diropithecus was like 4.5 to 5 feet tall. But what if, like the hyena, African lion goes across the Bering Land Bridge, doubles in size? What if Diropithecus did the same thing, went across the Bering Land Bridge? It's like, little competition, way more resources, and grew to be 9 feet tall, 10 feet tall. Fast, agile, strong. And then the natives of the area went, look out for the ape man, look out for the skunk man, look out for the cow man, look out for the otter man. There's so many different names for it. But so many native tribes all across North American continent had names for these. They saw them. They saw terror birds. They called them thunderbirds, but they saw these things in person, whether it was 10,000 years ago or 5,000 years ago or 1,000 years ago. Some of these may have lived until 1800s when the white man shows up in the Pacific Northwest and exterminates everything. For proof of this, the Stelling sea cow, 30-foot member of the manatee family, I think. It couldn't submerge all the way. It was just, its defense was that it was just huge, that no predator could hurt it because it was just too big. And then man showed up and wiped it out in 30 years. From the Russian guy Stelling discovering it, 30 years it was wiped out. Now, imagine white man shows up, sees birds like that, or sees apes like this with their muskets. Like, maybe, the natives couldn't hurt them with their spears and arrows. Arrows aren't the best at killing things. Especially, it goes in and oh, well, I can't bleed out because this is blocking the thing, unlike a bullet. So, maybe the natives knew, hey, don't go after them. It'll take 5-6 spears before it goes down. Case in point, the chimpanzee that ate that woman's face was hit in the back of the head with a shovel, was shot 6 times. It didn't die until hours later. So imagine something 9, 10, 11 feet tall. Oh, I got hit in the arm twice with an arrow. Oh, I'm just gonna go that way now. This hurts, I'm gonna go that way. Goodbye, guys. And then the white man shows up and they shoot him with their muskets and their bore rifles and all that. Kill them all off, especially if there's only a small population left. Now again, I'm not saying that Diropithecus or Gigantopithecus, or more likely an offshoot of the family, is still around right now, running around the Pacific Northwest. Although they could. What I am saying is, so many people are adamant no, it died 30,000 years ago. Nothing will ever convince me otherwise. Diropithecus could rub its penis all over my face right now. I will not believe it's real, or that it existed after that date. But we have proof of animals that went extinct. Lots of them that are still alive. We have proof of woolly mammoths went extinct 10,000 years ago, and 3,600 years ago, before last one that we know of. Again, maybe another island somewhere, maybe a small community somewhere in northern Canada. Their bodies frozen in the ice. One day we'll find it because of global warming. These were around 3,100 years ago. 500 years sooner than we thought. Or later than we thought, whatever. Who knows? Maybe that will happen. Who knows? Maybe eventually we're this Native American tribe let the scientists do the DNA testing on this bird, and this bird died about 3,000 years ago. And it's something that went extinct 10,000 years ago. But this sample is 3,000 years old. Turns out they lived 7,000 years later than we thought. Or 8,000 years, or 9,000 years. It's just, I am so annoyed when people are so adamant. As soon as they hear crypto or Bigfoot or Thunderbird, go, nope, doesn't exist, never exist, will never exist, nope, don't believe you. But we have the fossils. We have the bodies from the La Brea tar pits. We have the bodies in ice. We have proof and evidence that not all the megafauna died out 10,000 years ago when that comet hit. We have proof that some megafauna survived. And we have plenty of examples of a species from Asia and Africa, or Europe, going across the Bering Land Bridge and becoming huge. Lions double in size. Hyenas went from the size of a dog to 1,000 fucking pounds. The spectacled bear went from a bear to one of the largest land mammals of all time. So again, maybe not Gigantopithecus because it ate bamboo, and once environment changed and all that, it couldn't eat bamboo anymore, it died. So maybe Diropithecus, one of those. Maybe, perhaps, just saying, it too went across the Bering Land Bridge. It too, much like every other fucking animal that went across and went, no competition, plenty of resources, and got huge. And then the natives saw them. And the natives recorded it. And the natives told stories about seeing them. And again, maybe instead of dying off 30,000 years ago, they died off 10,000, 5,000, 1,000. Or they could still be alive today. One of my favorite examples, guess what? I think it's Gigantopithecus is a member of the same family as orangutans. Guess what? We know orangutans are real. They'll put out cameras 2 years. 2 years. Not one caught on camera. They know they live in this area. Here's the game trails. Like, we found evidence. Like, here's the trails that they're taking. We know that these are the trails. Like, you put a camera here, you will catch them. Nope. Not one sighting of an orangutan on camera in 2 years. Now, could it be that, I don't know, they all just magically teleported somewhere else? Or maybe they went, don't go near that. That's not supposed to be there. We're going to go that way. So same thing could happen with Daropithecus or Gigantopithecus, or again, one of their offshoots. Go, avoid that. Go that way. People say, well, how come no bodies have been found? Go take a walk in the woods right now and tell me how many dead bodies you come across. Let me guess. It's going to be 0. You know why? Something dies. It gets eaten by multiple species of animals, insects, birds, mammals, so forth. And then whatever's left decomposes. Or gets covered up by brush. Or elephants. Elephants mourn and will bury the dead. Certain primates will bury the dead. What if Daropithecus did the same thing? Well, gee, if Daropithecus buries their dead, kind of hard to come across the body randomly in the woods. Just saying. I mean, just the fact that we have animal species today that we know exist will go years. Like, they go so long without being seen that they're declared extinct, then, oh, there's one. Like, we know that happening today. We know that woolly mammoths survived over 6,000 years longer than first thought. We know that this happens. We have scientific evidence that this happens. More often than they care to admit. But man, as soon as you say Bigfoot or Sasquatch or Yeti, no, that has never existed. What about these fossils? What about these remains? What about this evidence? Shut up. But yeah, be more open-minded, people. Now again, I'm not saying that any of these things still exist or even existed 500 years ago, but maybe they existed 2,000 years ago, thousands of years, if not millions of years after they last went extinct, according to the evidence that we have today. They could be just like the woolly mammoth. They could be just like the coelacanth. They could be just like the other animals that I mentioned that went extinct and then, oh, they're not extinct. Or like the woolly mammoths where they went extinct on this year, on this day, at this time. Oh, it turns out we're off by 6,000 years. So, what do you guys think? I know I'm ranting and raving. I get into debate on Facebook. I know, stupid, but debate about it. They were just adamant, like, nope, Bigfoot has never and will never, blah, blah, blah. It's like, but what about Gigantopithecus? What about Daropithecus? What about all these other species? No, never. Terrible. Plus, there's so many reports, not just from white man, of course, but for hundreds of years, thousands of years, from the Native Americans keeping track and history of this. Why would they make a hoax? It's just... Anyways, I'm going to end my little rant here. So as always, like, subscribe, comment down below, and have a wonderful day.